forgot about Bumpy, man. Talking about Bumpy Johnson. You know what I mean? But anyways, man, you know what I'm saying? What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Jay Willie Silly, man, a.k.a. Mr. Take It Easy. Before you end up like Beezy, make sure y'all follow my Twitch, subscribe to my second channel. Everything you need to know about your boy Jay, it's in the description down below. You know, but we got the story of the real Godfather of Harlem, Bumpy Johnson. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, bro. This is a real good documentary. And I told y'all I was gonna give y'all part 2. We've been live streaming for an hour and 41 minutes. Told y'all I was gonna give y'all part 2. You know what I'm saying? And here we go. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, you feel me? Like I said, for all my new subscribers and new viewers, if y'all do want to go watch all my documentary reactions, got so many reactions, bro. You know what I'm saying? That you can look forward to, man. You know what I'm saying? But this one right here, I can tell this one right here is gonna be a banger. And I gotta say this, bro. I just started a series yesterday. Now, I told you, I got a Fire Stick. You know what I mean? So my Fire Stick, you feel me, got all the movies and all the series. I just started a new crime show named Mobland. You know what I mean? Basically about mob families that's in the UK. You know what I mean? Hey, it's a 10 out of 10 right now. I don't know how I be finding these series, bro. You know what I mean? But basically, when I just click on a video, I just read the description. You know what I'm saying? The description is all, that's all it tell me, bro, when it comes to a freaking series. I just read the description, bro. So I clicked on Mobland. I'm like, hey, man. You feel me? Hey, man.
You know that means you're going up against me and my men.
Mobland, though, y'all chat.
I know. This shit's gonna get interesting. Guess I'll be seeing you around, Bumpy. Yeah, man. But I'm banking on seeing you first.
Bub and Bumpy burst into laughter once again before parting ways. Once back in the car, Bumpy turned to his friends and said,
I feel like the President of the United States. I just declared war, and you guys are my army. Now we gotta come up with the battle plan.
Bumpy Johnson, the Godfather of Harlem.
The first thing Bumpy and his men had to do was find weapons. For this, they could rely on Finley. Junie, on the other hand, was the second brain of the group, the ideal person to carry out Bumpy's plans. Bumpy, therefore, was the planner, and Nat was in charge of the paybacks, a ruthless type who would stop at nothing. With his gang of 9 men, Bumpy went after Schultz's soldiers. They were vastly outnumbered, so their only option was to adopt a guerrilla strategy in the hopes of prevailing. And it must be said, they did very well. Unlike Schultz's men, Bumpy and his crew blended in effortlessly as African Americans in Harlem, which gave them a huge advantage. However, facing Bub Hewlett's crew was a different story. Bub had a deep grudge against Bumpy, and the feeling was mutual. The two factions clashed repeatedly, but neither managed to gain the upper hand. The Bumpy vs. Bub duel finally ended in April 1933, 6 months after the war started, when Bub, in a matter unrelated to the conflict between Schultz and St. Clair, was sentenced to serve a prison term of 2 to 5 years. After his incarceration, most of Bub's men abandoned the battle against Bumpy, except for a few diehards, like Ulysses Rawlins. Ulysses Rawlins had replaced Bub as Schultz's main enforcer in Harlem. In 1934, his intentions were clear. He wanted to take down Bumpy. Upon hearing this news, Bumpy laughed, though he didn't underestimate his new adversary, who had a reputation for being a dangerous man. Moreover, Schultz rarely set foot in Harlem, which frustrated Bumpy because he had never had the chance to reach him.
See, and this is what I be trying to tell people, bro. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to communities, wherever your environment is, bro, that's where, and that's what I be saying, bro. When it comes to the whole world trying to look at, you know, like black people, bro, and just think like, man, black people, you know what I'm saying, killing each other, bro. White people kill white people too, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, violence is going to happen wherever your environment. If it's just a whole bunch of freaking black people in this area, black people going to kill black people, which it shouldn't be happening. But, you know, you're having fools, it's going to happen. Wicked people, they around, it's going to happen, bro. You know what I'm saying? Fools, wicked people like Bumpy, bro, violence going to occur. You know what I'm saying? If you're around those people. You know what I mean? So, of course, black on white crime not going to happen because white people are not in this environment. Same thing when it come to white people in their communities, bro. I see white people kill white people all the time, bro. You know what I'm saying? They're going to kill whoever they, you know what I'm saying? White people been killing white people. I think that's the reason why white people came to America, bro, to flee white people. You know what I'm saying? But this junk been going on since the beginning of time. Y'all see it with the cartels. Cartels, Mexicans killing Mexicans, all type of stuff, bro. You know? But I told you, it's just something about when black people killing black people, bro. This junk been going on, bro, since forever, bro. Black people been killing black people. That's why I be trying to tell y'all, this ain't freaking nothing new. Y'all, all this Black Lives Matter and all this crazy, man, bro, these folks been killing each other since our great-granddaddies, great-great-great-granddad's been alive, bro. This junk been going on, bro. Y'all think it's finna stop now? Y'all be holding on to false hope. Y'all be praying for nothing, bro. This junk gonna happen, bro. This junk ain't never gonna stop. It's just, you know, now the weapons didn't elevate it now. Instead of using freaking arrows and all that they was using back in the day, now they're using switches now. You know what I mean? Now they're using Glocks. Now they're using FNs. But killing just elevated, bro. But killing been going on. I don't know why people be thinking that killing just, it worked. I ain't like it's getting way worse. Yeah, for sure, it's getting way worse. For sure, You know what I mean? But, bro, killing been around, bro. This junk been happening, bro. Since before we was even thought of.
With multiple
so y'all just hiding on, y'all just praying about false hope, man. Y'all just hoping for something that's just never gonna happen, bro. Just make sure you safe, bro. You know what I'm saying? People gonna be people gonna lie, people gonna cheat, people gonna kill, people gonna steal. As long as you got yours, bro, that's all that matters, bro.
Which made the task even
as long as you alright, bro.
But Bumpy
they gonna do it if they want
card to play. This card involved contacting someone who personally knew Schultz.
Why people be acting like killing just started?
The New York Mafia.
Like, bro.
Lucky Luciano.
This shit junk been going on since forever, bro. Even the Jesus days, bro. People been killing, bro. Look at this, man. This is 1933s. Bumpy running the streets, 1933s, bro. Man, I was born in 1905, bro. Bro. Junk been going on, bro.
Bumpy reached out to Luciano at the end of 1934 to discuss the ongoing war in Harlem, which was resulting in more and more deaths. Luciano, of course, was aware of what was happening in that part of New York. He listened carefully to Bumpy, but then told him that he couldn't get involved.
Franklin Saint in the building.
If he ever decided to stick his nose in, he would lay down his terms, namely to take over the gambling business in Harlem and add Bumpy to his list of employees for about $1,000 per week. Bumpy was clearly disappointed by his response. He then warned Luciano that if he tried to target the illegal lottery operators in Harlem, he would have no choice but to go after him personally. This made Luciano laugh, and he told Bumpy that he had no chance of winning a war against him, to which Bumpy smiled and responded,
"That's the same thing Schultz said, and here I am, 3 years later, speaking with you."
Although impressed by Bumpy's audacity, Luciano remained firm in his stance, and the two men left it at that, at least for the moment. Meanwhile, the war in Harlem continued to rage. It was during the summer of 1935 that Bumpy and Rollins first clashed. It happened when Bumpy was taking a girl out to dinner. The two were walking calmly when Bumpy saw Rollins pull out a knife and charge at him. The two men rolled on the ground, fought for a while, and then Bumpy got up and adjusted his tie. He had severely slashed Rollins' face and body, who was left lying on the ground.
Man down on 51st.
One of his eyeballs was hanging by the ligaments, practically out of its socket. After the altercation, Bumpy calmly stepped over him and then announced that he suddenly had a craving for spaghetti and meatballs. Rollins, seriously injured, was taken to the hospital, but true to his reputation as a tough guy, he left the same night, covered in bandages, searching for Bumpy. He found him at a restaurant on 125th Street, and when he spotted him, he didn't hesitate for a second. He drew his weapon and aimed for his head. Fortunately for Bumpy, the bullet only went through his hat and ended up hitting an innocent woman, killing her instantly. Rollins was eventually arrested by a police officer who happened to be in the restaurant that night and received a heavy sentence. One could say Bumpy got lucky. In fact, that day he made a decision. He would never wear hats again. At this time, Bumpy still wanted Schultz dead, a wish that would eventually be granted in October 1935. When Luciano and other members of the American Organized Crime Syndicate decided that Schultz had to be eliminated. Schultz was being relentlessly pursued by the law at that point, and to escape and calm things down, he had decided to kill a prosecutor named Thomas Dewey, a solution that was simply unacceptable to Luciano and his associates. As a result, Dutch Schultz was shot in a restaurant in New Jersey and died in the hospital shortly after. The Bumpy St. Clair clan had won. Harlem was once again free, and the war was finally over. The only question left was how the illegal lotteries would be organized now that Schultz was dead. Would Lucky Luciano sweep everything away, possibly sidelining Bumpy? Bumpy would soon get answers to his questions, as a week after Schultz's death, he had another meeting with Luciano.
Crazy, man. All this over money, bro. I gotta understand. All this over money, chat. Respect doesn't mean submission. Oh my God, man. This is one thing that people gotta learn these days, bro. Respect doesn't mean submission. You know what I mean? And that's what I be saying, bro. See, that's exactly why when I be out and about, I don't be going around, bro. I be very, very freaking militant on how I move, bro. You know what I mean? Because everybody want to be tough now. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to be tough. Everybody want to be the toughest guy for no reason. You know what I'm saying? It's none to respect. I'm telling you, respect gonna get you a long way in this world, bro. All that being disrespectful and all that popping off in the mouth and all that, you gonna get killed, gang. Because nobody cares about that. A fool dies for lack of sense, bro. You feel me? Those who are cruel bring ruin on themselves. It's gonna happen. We see it happen, bro. It don't matter how tough you is. No matter how many people you beat up, bro. You gotta be humble enough, bro, to respect everybody. Respect can get you a long way, bro. I respect everybody until there's a reason to not respect you. I told you the quote that I hate the most that people say and they swear is real. Respect is earned, not given. It's given to me, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Respect given to me. You gonna respect me because I respect you, brother. So why you ain't gonna respect me? You think you just gonna disrespect me while I respect you? Bro, I'll slap the taste out your mouth, bro. Believe me or not. You know what I'm saying? You don't respect me, something gonna happen to you, bro. It's word up. YouTube or whatever you want to look at me. You gonna respect me. I look at your eyes when I say it. All that little respect and it's earned and all that, I give respect. So guess what I expect to receive? I respect to receive respect, bro. Because I ain't disrespecting you. I'll hold the door for a brother and everything, bro. That's how respectful I am. I ain't a mean person. I walk around walk around humble and everything. But the minute you disrespect me, bro, that's when another side gonna come out, bro. I don't care how many bodies you got. And I don't care who you killed or who you beat up. No, I just see red, bro. You feel me? That's me personally. And it's a lot of people that's just like me in this world that don't give a F who you is. Disrespect that motherfucker. That motherfucker drop you right where you stand. The nicest, coolest persons, bro. Those be the funniest people. Those be the ones that be like that. Y'all ones that be walking around trying to be tough, sagging. You be the scary ones. You know what I'm saying? You try to act so tough, you know what I'm saying? Because you know you're not tough. You feel me? Try to act all hard because you know you're not hard. You scared for somebody to come test you, you know what I'm saying? Because you know who you are. For me, I'm a laughing, giggling person. Cool, chill, respectful. But the next minute you try me, bro, that's when you're going to see a different person. Respect, I want y'all to screenshot this. Respect doesn't mean submission. I'm telling you, respect gets you a long way in him. I'm telling you, respect, man. Learn how to respect people. Stop trying to walk into a room and be the toughest person. I promise you, you ain't going to leave out that room. Respect doesn't mean that you respect don't mean that you soft, bro. You know what I'm saying? Respect don't mean that you soft. You actually smart, bro. You better be smart in this world, bro. You ain't the only one like that, gang. Stop walking around here like you the only big bad wolf. Telling you, bro. That what King Von thought.
Bumpy and Luciano met again. This time,
that's all these boy thought. That what Melly thought. All these boy thought.
Luciano let Bumpy speak first. Then the two men discussed several points. Bumpy first stated that he was aware that he couldn't win a war against Luciano, but he certainly couldn't just sit idly by and let the Harlem gambling business slip away from African Americans. After listening to Bumpy, Luciano declared that he was willing to leave all the Harlem gambling operators alone, at least those who had supported him during the war. He then added,
and whatever your name is, Southside Group, Grip, and we're gonna get to the video. You're gonna have some people like me that don't care. That's packing. You're gonna have some people like me that don't care. You gonna have some people like me that's like that by themselves. I got Nina with me. That's all I need. You got some people. You gonna come across somebody, you try to act tough in the group, most of your group gonna get dropped. You got some people like me that just walk around here, don't give a F about how many you got. You disrespect them, bro. Bro gonna die about that disrespect. I don't care if it's 5 people. Disrespect me, I'm on that with you, bro. You got people walking around just like that. So being in the group don't freaking save you. I would slap the dog piss out your mouth, bro, if you disrespected me in front of the group, bro. You gonna have to do something to me, right? When you try to jump me, not coming out. I ain't fighting you when it come to jumping. I would dare for real come up to you and hit you right in your jaw. So group don't save you from nothing. Know what I'm saying? Try to jump me. I'll be begging for a day somebody try to jump me. Try to jump me.
That any new
100%. I'm blowing. 100%.
In the neighborhood would now fall under the control of the mafia.
Please try to jump me.
After that, Bumpy asked to become Luciano's partner in Harlem, meaning the mafia would not take any action there.
I don't play with people, bro. I don't play with people,
business. Bumpy and Luciano then negotiated for hours on these points.
Don't you realize I'm doing you a favor? I could kill you right now and just take over everything.
Smiling, Bumpy replied that he knew Luciano was far too savvy a businessman to do such a thing. The negotiations continued, and the two men eventually laughed together.
Don't kill him, Luke.
Bumpy had successfully negotiated a peace with honor and had stood his ground against New York's biggest crime boss. An achievement that the people of Harlem would not soon forget, and many would admire him for it. After the meeting with Luciano, everyone wanted to be his friend, do something for him or his associates. Eager to stay in his good graces, drinks were always on the house whenever he entered a bar or club. More and more women flocked to him, and more celebrities even came to introduce themselves. But what Bumpy liked most about his new status was seeing the Italian gangsters respect the deal he had made with Luciano. None of them could meddle with the lotteries owned by Bumpy and his friends, or they would have to confront Bumpy himself. Everything was going smoothly, until the day a problem arose with one of the lottery managers Bumpy was protecting. To resolve the issue, Luciano summoned him one afternoon to his luxurious suite at the Waldorf Astoria.
Y'all don't think y'all understand how difficult this was in the 1930s, bro. Like, bro was doing this while racism was still high, like, while black people being oppressed.
So, what's been going on uptown?
How crazy this is?
Nothing new.
Is that so? I hear the money has not been so good lately.
Really? I'm sorry to hear you say that.
Anything I could do to help? We're both businessmen. Let's lay our cards on the table. You got a problem, you come to me, and I straighten it out. I'm the boss. Remember that?
We had a deal. You don't move against any of the independent bankers.
This man you're talking about, he owes us money. The way it's figured, if he owes us, we own him. Understand?
No, I don't understand. If you had a problem with one of my people, then why didn't you come to me? In Harlem, I'm the boss. Remember that.
You? Now you're the boss?
In Harlem, yes. You may control the rest of New York, and I respect that. I would never make a move against one of your friends. I give you that respect.
I recognize that, Bumpy, and you know I'm a man who gives respect. Don't matter to me if they're a Jew, a Mick, or a... We all want to make some money, eh? Live and let live.
Exactly.
The two men then continued their conversation and eventually came to an understanding. Bumpy was about to leave when he noticed a chessboard on a table.
You play, huh?
Yeah, you? Never mind, I should have figured that.
What do you mean?
You're a man who always seems to have his moves planned 2 steps ahead.
So do you.
Me? Nah, I plan 4 or 5 moves ahead.
Bumpy and Luciano sat down at the chessboard and played a few games. Bumpy won the first one, Luciano took the next, and the remaining 2 ended in a draw, which became a tradition every time they played chess together. Thus, a friendly relationship developed between the two men. Their chess games would continue until 1936, when Luciano was sent to prison for forced prostitution. In fact, Bumpy joined him a year later after being arrested for criminal assault. He had attacked a pimp who had beaten one of the girls he was protecting and received a 10-year sentence for it.
Ain't 10 years?
He was then sent to Dannemora prison, where Luciano was incarcerated. It's even said that Bumpy once saved Lucky in the prison yard by shoving and hitting a man who had tried to stab him. This favor reportedly earned him some good Italian food during his stay.
I mean, so you got to understand, especially where I'm from, you know what I'm saying? Not where I'm from, but where I'm at. I mean, Georgia is stand your ground law. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I know the laws, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I know if I'm in that position, bro, of me getting jumped or whatever happened to me, I got the right to do what I got to do. So it's not me not doing something, not being educated behind my actions. I'm not a man that's just gonna freaking act and don't know. You know what I mean? I'm not somebody that just act recklessly. You know what I'm saying? I know exactly what's going on. I know what I can do and I know what I can't.
Bumpy was released from Dannemora in 1947, but when he returned to the
I'm a
streets
genius,
of Harlem,
bro.
things had changed.
Things ain't like they supposed to be, Bumpy. The Italians got things all tied up now. They might not even let you open a spot. Let me open a spot? Since when I need permission from a grease bar to open a spot? Like I said, things got different. Nowadays, no one opens a spot unless it's sanctioned by the Italians up on the east side.
A few days later, Bumpy went to the east side to meet Joe Adonis, the acting head of Luciano's operations, since he had been deported to Italy.
I'm gonna go to the east side.
Bumpy didn't like Adonis much. He found him vain and pretentious, the type of guy who wouldn't pass a mirror without stopping to fix his hair and admire himself. However, he did recognize some qualities in him. Adonis knew how to handle business, and he was fairly loyal. When they met, he was with Frank Costello, Meyer Lansky, Tommy Lucchese, and Albert Anastasia, the kind of people Luciano trusted to carry out his orders from prison, and later from Italy during his exile. During their meeting, the Italian mobster gave him a welcome gift, a thick envelope with $6,000 and a brand new 1947 black Lincoln Continental.
Nice, but I prefer Cadillacs.
No problem. Take the Lincoln now. I'll replace it with the Cadillac in a couple days.
This is gonna come in handy, because I'm gonna be swinging back in action in a couple of days.
Yeah, that's nice. What kind of action you talking about?
Same kind of action I was in before I went up. I'm opening up a bank.
You got the okay for that, Bumpy?
What kind of okay you talking about?
From our friends. You talked this over with our friends?
Man, I don't need to talk it over with nobody. I'm going back in action for myself like always.
I'll set up a meeting and you can come and talk. We'll see what happens.
Bro, ain't
Later
trying to
that
talk.
evening, Bumpy received a call, and the next day, he went to meet with the Italians in East Side Harlem. He wasn't alone. Nat, Junie, and two other friends accompanied him. All were armed, just in case the situation escalated. At the meeting, there were 6 Italian mobsters, including Joe Adonis. Bumpy and his men calmly sat around a table with them.
We hear you want to get back into business, and we want to help,
said Anthony Salerno, known as Fat Tony, an Italian gangster who was rising through the ranks at the time and would later become the head of the Genovese family. At this point, he was in charge of the Harlem gambling business for the Mafia.
You know, we always liked you, and we know you're a man worthy of respect. What's it you're thinking of doing?
Well, I thank you for your gracious offer of help, and also thank you for your gifts you've already given me, but I don't want to impose on our friendship. You've already done so much. I'm just going to reopen my numbers bank on 135th Street so I can take care of myself.
Ah, but my friend, that won't be so easy as that.
Yeah? Seems to me it should be pretty easy.
Well, I'm sure you know things have changed since you've been gone. That's the way things go. Time goes on, things change. You want to open up a spot on 135th Street? Fine, we'd be glad to let you do that. But you gotta understand, you run the spot, but you bank your numbers through us. You know we're gonna give you a good cut. You're a man who's earned our respect.
Then I expect you to respect the deal that was cut before I left. I run my own business with no interference from anyone.
That deal was cut from some friends who are no longer running things. Like I said, time goes on, things change. You want to do business, you do business to us.
I had a deal, and as far as I'm concerned, the deal is still on the table.
The people at the head of the table have changed, and the deal has changed.
But Bumpy refused to be intimidated. He let out a small laugh, then stood up with his men.
I guess this meeting is over.
He then looked at Adonis.
You need to get word out to our friend about what's going on, and that I'm not too happy about it.
You trying to give me orders, Bumpy?
At that point, Nat stepped forward, but Bumpy pushed him back and said,
No, I wouldn't presume to give you orders. Just as you know, I won't be taking orders. And as far as I'm concerned, we're equals, like we've always been. But I am requesting that when you next make contact with our friend, you give him my best regards, and let him know I was very happy to be of assistance while we were away together.
Bumpy was, of course, referring to the time he had saved Luciano's life at Dannemora. After this statement, he and his men left the meeting. They stopped in front of a store window to discuss the situation.
We going back to war? Maybe. I don't know yet. I gotta figure out our next move. So okay, Bumpy, what's your first move? I'm thinking we snatch a couple of them.
The scenario seemed unbelievable. A group of African Americans discussing removing members of the mafia. Unbeknownst to them, Bumpy and his men were talking in a location.
That's what I was just saying. Bro, it seems impossible, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta understand, bro. You feel me? That time, this is a time of depression. Like, not depression, but depression. You know what I'm saying? But bro, this is a time of like when black people was oppressed, man. You know what I'm saying? Like so, bro, doing this, that just show you how brilliant we is, bro. You know what I mean? Show you how smart we truly is. This man doing all this, having all this power. You know what I'm saying? And he not even supposed to. He being oppressed. It's easy for the white men to do. It's easy for the Italians to get power. They not being oppressed. You know what I mean? Nothing happening to them. You know what I'm saying? So it's easy for them to do what they do. You know what I mean? But for him, bro, got to go through all type of obstacles, bro, just to get to this point. Pretty sure it was easy for them. Easy freaking way up. You know what I'm saying? But him, bro. So it's like, yeah, he doing wrong. I don't respect wrong. I don't respect evil. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta admire how he did it, though. You know what I'm saying? During that time, bro, it wasn't a good time for black folks at all, bro.
Where the New York police had placed a bug. In fact, one of the city's inspectors who listened to the tape couldn't believe
I respect how he did it. I don't respect the things he did because I don't respect evil, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't respect the things he did, but you gotta respect how he did it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta respect how he did it.
He had to replay the recording twice because he found it so hard to believe. Fortunately, no violence was needed. Adonis had informed Luciano about the situation, and Luciano had told him that not only did the mafia have to honor the deal he made with Bumpy, but they also had to give him everything he wanted.
Why didn't you tell me what you did for our friend?
Asked Adonis to Bumpy sometime later, handing him the keys to a brand new black Cadillac.
It wasn't for me to tell.
From that point on, Bumpy was able to solidify his dominance over Harlem. No one could stand in his way anymore. Then, the unthinkable happened.
Bumpy, bro. That boy Bumpy. Bumpy, bro. Bumpy running Harlem. Betrayal. It always happen right here, y'all. Y'all know that. Betrayal. I know that. Always the closest besides you.
Following his agreement with the Italians, Bumpy was able to open his lottery on 135th Street. It was a lucrative business, earning him nearly $60,000 a month. His reputation continued to grow on the streets of Harlem.
Wow, do y'all know how much that is, bro, back then? 1933? Y'all, $20 was a lot back then. My pops used to tell me, bro, that candy bar, like, things were like 50 cents back then, bro. You know what I'm saying? Feel me? Like things was like freaking 50 cents. Things that's like $10 now was like 50 cents back then. You know what I'm saying? He said the prices went up extreme. Do y'all know how much 60,000 is a month back then, bro? That's a lot today. So imagine back then, bro, when prices was extremely low. Bro was overly rich. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro was...
Everything was going well until the day he met a man named Flash Walker. Flash Walker was a young orphan, penniless, and looking for work with Bumpy. A friend of his who knew Bumpy introduced him to the Godfather of Harlem one evening in December 1948. That night, Bumpy took pity on him and hired him to help his wife with certain household tasks. At the time, Flash was 19. He was talkative and, according to some, had an almost enchanting charm. He quickly integrated into the Johnson family to the point of becoming like a son to Bumpy, who had none and would never have any. Bumpy genuinely liked him, and the feeling was mutual. Their bond became so strong that it even made his two daughters a little jealous. No kidding, the two of them grew very close, to the point that Bumpy started to trust him more and more, and offered him a position in one of his lottery businesses. Flash had a knack for charming people, and getting them to bet more than they should. It didn't take long for him to become Bumpy's most profitable employee. Then came a moment when Bumpy trusted Flash enough to allow him to accompany him to some important meetings, including those with the Italians. By the way, as an anecdote, it's possible that Frank Lucas, the 70s heroin dealer portrayed by Denzel Washington in American Gangster, took credit for the relationship Flash Walker had with Bumpy. So, Lucas may never have been as close to Bumpy as he claimed to be. But anyway, that's another story. The relationship between Flash and Bumpy lasted nearly 2 years before an event came along that changed everything. It all began in 1949 when Flash Walker met a pimp who proposed a lucrative deal to him. This man asked Flash to cash suspicious checks, apparently stolen, without raising any suspicion and without having to go through the bank. For Flash, it was a way to make some extra money, aside from what he was already earning with Bumpy. So he accepted the deal and cashed the checks into the account of the man who considered him like a son. 4 months later, Bumpy received a call from his bank, asking him to come in to discuss his account. It was there that he learned of the scam. Fortunately for him, he managed to sort things out and resolve the issue. However, he returned home furious. He paced back and forth in a room, thinking to himself that Flash could have caused him serious trouble. But suddenly, one of his 16-year-old daughters came to see him.
Bumpy, I'm glad you're here. I wanted to tell you that when Flash was here earlier today, he patted me on the butt.
At that moment, Bumpy stopped, his mouth agape.
He did what?
Ruthie, I've been home all day. How come you didn't say anything to me? Because I wanted to tell Bumpy myself.
Bumpy's face turned purple, but it wasn't over yet, as his other daughter also testified.
He did the same thing to me too, Daddy. Patted me right on the butt and said he couldn't wait to get me alone. And it's not the first time he did it.
Bumpy had already headed toward the door. He got into his Cadillac and drove off to find Flash. Flash was just leaving his house when Bumpy spotted him.
What happened, boss man? Some shit went down we gotta take care of.
Bumpy didn't say a word. He got out of the car and landed a right hook to Flash's face. Flash didn't even have time to understand what was happening before Bumpy was already on top of him, punching him and calling him every name in the book.
You lousy motherfucking no good. I trust you in my house and you turn around and fucking shit on me? I'm gonna kill you.
Bumpy continued to hit him, and it was a brutal sight. Flash's face was becoming unrecognizable. Bumpy stood over him, breathing heavily, then delivered a final kick to his head and shouted,
Stay away from me and my family, else I'm gonna fucking kill you next time.
After that, Flash called Bumpy every hour trying to speak to him, but Bumpy would hang up on him each time. Bumpy discussed the situation with his old friends during a card game.
Man, you know damn well you should've went ahead and killed that little If you was gonna beat him like that, shit an ass kicking like that in front of everyone, he ain't gonna forget that shit. You done made an enemy for life. Like I give a fuck. I'm with Junie on this one. I lay odds that he's gonna come back at you. Why don't you go ahead and take care of him? Mind your business, man. I did what I had to do, and it's over.
Then Nat grunted.
That knows too much. If you ain't gonna take care of him, I will. I never did trust that little motherfucker.
Bumpy continued to ignore the advice of his friends. Perhaps he still had some affection for his protege. Whatever the case, he would bitterly regret this decision when he learned one evening that Flash was planning with one of his ex-girlfriends to hide a packet of heroin under one of the cushions on his sofa, then call the police to get him busted.
Crazy.
They all gathered in his living room for an emergency meeting. For half an hour, Bumpy and his friends discussed what should be done. Once the meeting was over, they all went out together to hunt for Flash. Unfortunately, it was already too late.
Always the people that's closest to you. They got him.
Bumpy was later arrested at his home by 2 narcotics agents. He was taken to the Narcotics Bureau, where he learned that Flash had ratted him out to the cops when he was arrested for a heroin case in December 1950. At the time, Flash had told the police he was selling drugs for Bumpy, which apparently wasn't true, as even the narcotics officers didn't believe him. None of them had ever heard that Bumpy was involved in the drug trade. That's when the feds got involved, and for them, even if Bumpy was telling the truth, that he wasn't involved in drugs, they knew that by arresting him, they could clean up Harlem by forcing him to name the drug dealers operating there. As a result, Bumpy spent a fortune trying to prove his innocence. Unfortunately for him, it wasn't enough. The feds wouldn't let up. They harassed him, asking him to give names in exchange for dropping the case, but Bumpy told them to go to hell every time. It wasn't until June 1953 that the trial took place. During all this time, Bumpy had remained free on bail. He was relatively confident when it came time for his judgment. The jury deliberated for only 3 hours before announcing their verdict. A good sign, according to his lawyer, since juries typically took longer when they were declaring the guilt of a defendant. Yet, against all expectations, Bumpy was found guilty on 2 counts of drug trafficking. His loved ones were shocked. He was going to be sentenced to 15 years in prison. He would spend most of his time in detention at Alcatraz, a prison that housed the most dangerous criminals in the country at the time. At this penitentiary, guards referred to prisoners by their identification numbers rather than their names, which was a way of breaking them morally. The federal government even ensured that the prison was designed in such a way that escape would be impossible. Still, that didn't stop Frank Morris and the Englund brothers from escaping in 1962. It was the only escape in the history of this high-security prison, and it is said that to carry out this incredible escape, they received help from a person with solid contacts outside, a person who helped them obtain a boat to cross San Francisco Bay, someone who was none other than Bumpy Johnson himself.
And Bump got snaked out, man. Bump got snaked out. You see what I be saying, man? I mean, don't never bring nobody into a circle. You know what I'm saying? Never bring nobody into a circle that has not been in your circle. I mean, him bringing a new person into his circle, bro, that cost Bumpy, bro. I'm saying if he would have just been rocking with the freaking crowd that he had, bro, he wouldn't have had to freaking serve 15 flat. You know what I mean? And bro wasn't even part of his crew. You know what I mean? Took him in, bro. You know what I mean? Took him in, a stranger. You know what I mean? Took the bro in, bro. Crazy.
In the end, Bumpy served only 10 years in prison.
Served only 10
and was
years.
Released on parole in 1963. Junie came to pick him up in a 1962 Cadillac Eldorado convertible, and the news of his
10 years, still a long
spread
time.
throughout Harlem. Soon, the streets were filled with people welcoming him. People clapped and threw confetti as the car passed by. It felt like the President of the United States was parading through. Bumpy stood up, tears in his eyes, and waved to the crowd. Yeah, it seemed the people of Harlem hadn't forgotten him, even after all this time. In the end, this scene hinted at a kind of farewell that was soon to come. Bumpy had heart problems that had started at the beginning of 1967, and they would claim his life a year later, on July 7th, 1968. He was about to eat at a restaurant in Harlem that night when his heart gave out. He was 62 years old. The brutal death of Bumpy Johnson shocked everyone. It marked the end of one of Harlem's most memorable figures, often described as a gangster with a social conscience. A criminal who played the role of a philanthropist, helping the less fortunate in his neighborhood. A few hundred people gathered to pay their final respects to the man considered the Robin Hood of Harlem. However, this Robin Hood was still a racketeer, a pimp, and a drug trafficker. Because yes, even though Bumpy insisted until his death that he had been framed for the drug trafficking charges that sent him to Alcatraz in the 1950s, he would later get involved in the drug trade in the 1960s. Ultimately, Bumpy was a smart guy who could have become a lawyer or a doctor, but he ended up as a gang leader. It's said that he regretted not continuing his studies. What people will remember about him is the African-American man from a poor background who rose to the top of the New York underworld. With just a handful of loyal men, he managed to stand up to the powerful Italian mafia, becoming its sole ambassador in Harlem. A gangster who spent 26 years of his life in prison was shot at 15 times and was described by the prosecutor in his 1953 trial as one of the most dangerous criminals in the history of Harlem.
Bumpy Johnson. Dang, man. 23 years.
I just want you to know it's a right of unknown. But if we stick together, nothing can go wrong. So if I made this far, and I don't want you away, you got to listen to.
Also, Frank Lucas ain't no Bumpy. Following the murder of Martin Luther King in April. Hey man, I can't do nothing but, you know what I'm saying, respect given to the less fortunate. You know what I'm saying? I can't do nothing but respect that right there. I mean, every year Bumpy spent thousands of dollars organizing huge Christmas parties for Harlem's most disadvantaged children, bro. Get my respect. That's all I want to do when I get money, man. That's all I want to do, man. Give back to people, bro. You know what I'm saying? Change people's lives, man. You know what I mean? But yeah, man.
Thank you all for watching my video all the way.
That was it right there. You know what I'm saying? The story of the real Godfather of Harlem. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully everybody enjoyed that right there. Like I said, man, different series, everything. You know what I'm saying? Your boy Jay is trying to be diverse with it. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, you know, and it's what, 4